However, before I turn it over to the mic, I have one small request of all of you. We would like more people to share their realizations or any wonderful pastimes they have with Maharaj. So I have this little clipboard over here. We're going to be passing it around with this pen. And if you'd like to speak, please write down your name. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Pristaya Putale Shimate Govinda Swami Tinamani Namam Krishna Padaya Krishna Pristaya Putale Shimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamani Namaste Sarasvati Deva Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sundhavadi Paschacharya Shakavini Omagana Tinavasa Gyanandana Shalataya Shakshurtam Vikamena Tasme Shri Gurudeva. Yes, today is a very auspicious day for us, conditional souls, and for disciples. 2 days are very important. The appearance day and the disappearance day of the Vaishnavas. Govinda Maharaj, my he's not an ordinary person. He's one of those rare pure souls roaming this material world to help us to reestablish our relationship with Krishna, our lost relationship with Krishna. They come here just to give Krishna. They don't take birth like we take. We take because of our karma. They don't die because we know they are always with us. Guru is always present. And they are an example for us as how we should live, how we should eat, walk, talk, or whatever. I'm very fortunate that I live with my Guru in Vandeshwar, and I could see what the life of a pure devotee, how they live. And the first thing that struck me the most, it was that he was always alone in his bhajan kutir, writing, or he has to do the Srila Prabhupada translation, and he never had friends, he never was talking, socializing, and I think, what is this person? He didn't need anyone. He was like self-satisfied. I was very real devotee. So I could not understand that, why he was like that. Slowly, I could understand. So he will come out from his bhajan kutir to have darshan of deities and to give classes. He only speaks Krishna Katha, never speak anything else. Sometimes just laugh at us, for being so conditioned. But never, always, and whatever he was saying, even his laughter, it was always based in Shastra. And it's, for us, the most important thing is to hear from a pure devotee. Because when they speak, their sound vibration is spiritual. It's coming from the spiritual world. It's not material sound vibration like Vyas or yogis or scholars. Their words are really entering to our ears and they touch our hearts. And when they touch our heart, this material attachment is completely destroyed. It's like magic, When you really hear what they say, it's really change your heart, to change your mind, to change. They don't speak to satisfy your mind, to satisfy your intelligence. They speak to satisfy your soul. It's the soul becoming happy. So that's why there is a change in us, because they speak to the soul. They see the soul. One time I remember I was crying, and my Guru Deva was saying to me, because I want mercy, and he would tell me, you must cry. I say, I'm already crying. And then he told me, in your heart. Not just like external crying. So everything in our Krishna consciousness takes place in our heart. Guru, he doesn't see your body. Guru sees your soul, where you are in your spiritual life. And from there, he will give you instructions that you can progress in your spiritual life. That's why follow instruction of the Guru is very, very important, because they know exactly what you need. And also words, that sometimes their words really hurt us like anything. But it's good, because this suffering will deliver us from our attachment. How to say, desire and the faith that one day I will become a devotee. So when they speak their words, it's really change you, to change your heart. It's not Pura and the Srinivasacharya, they stay here in Bengal, and Shyamananda Goswami went to Orissa. So my Gurudev is related to that line. They are Vaishnavas from generations after generations. And they have also Paramahansa in his family. They are never separated from Krishna. Always they have Krishna. Never separate from Krishna. My Gurudeva was always doing garland for Gopal, reading for Gopal, singing for Gopal. He was not so much interested in school, and always his parents worried, he's not studying, there is exam, but he didn't care. But then he had good results in school. Then they say, oh, Gopal mercy, just Gopal mercy. He was always very successful like this. He never mixed so much with the boys, doing not things, like stealing manga or guava in the neighbors' trees, or always Gopal, playing with Gopal. Maybe you know one story about him and the Gopal when he was small. There is a time in the year they plant dry. When they are green, they are very soft and sweet. You can try one day if you have the opportunity. And my Gurudeva, he was going to the field to pick some munda, and he'll bring, and he'll put in the veranda of Gopal temple. And bring with his small hand and put it there. Then he'll go back to take more. And when he come back, his munda will disappear. You're not there. Then he went again. He bring the munda. When he come back, again munda will disappear. He say, who is stealing my munda? He say, I'm gonna watch. So he came behind the pillar and say, who you gonna take? So he saw Gopal come out from the temple. So he ran after Gopal, thief, give back my mundal, this is my mundal. And they were running like this around the temple. And then his uncle came to call him for prasadam. And he saw what he is doing, my nephew, what do you know this, what's happened? But see, he's just like playing like, boys playing like this. Then he called, come, it's time for prasadam. So when my Gurudeva came, he took Gurudeva, a small boy, in his arm, and he saw one shadow go inside the temple. So he could understand he's praying with Gopal. So he hugged my Gurudeva and said, "You are so fortunate to pray with Gopal." So his life was always like that. He's also very, very compassionate. His heart is very soft, very, very, very soft. He always his eyes like wet, do you know? Like sometimes little drops here. He cannot see us suffering. So much compassion, and he always prays to Gopal. It was his last prayers also when he left there for to become a sannyasi, that he wanted to distribute prema to one and all. He always, that's his desire to do that, and he will do the impossible, you know, to deliver us from this material world. Whatever was needed, that's why his classes is so amazing. You know, we cry, we sing, we dance, we do everything. You know, it's like a show. But our heart constantly also moving. It's incredible to be present there, you know, to really feel the energy that is coming from him. And so much compassion, so much compassion. Yes, I stop here.
So we were in the street, and all the disciples were with us in the street. There were around 30, 40. American or maybe North European, I don't know. They were speaking English. So Maharaj's car came, everyone stood, and I was observing everything very attentively because it was my first experience with so many disciples with the one guru that is in an altar. So immediately when Maharaj came outside of the door, I could see 30 boys full Dandavat on the street. And I said, "Oh my God, what is happening? What is happening?" And I was looking for the garbage in the street. And suddenly, they were still there. Full Dandavat in a dirty, poor street. And Maharaj was so happy. A big smile, like blissful to see their surrendered souls. Okay? And I was counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the eyes were still in the floor. Now I know because they were giving pranams. Okay? Namo Vishnu Padaya and Satan. And then they came up. Okay? Everyone is clean, everyone is clean. My mind was saying, huh? Okay. So Maharaj came inside the temple. Class. So another surprise to me. They were not like this, as you. They were like this. Near him, completely. 30 guys around Maharaj. And I said, okay, this means something, huh? This means something. He laughs, he shouts, he asks questions, and you. It's all programmed, just one class. And my realization is that what I want to share with you. I could feel love. I could feel love between them. And it was an amazing experience. They were completely in the same tune as him. They knew the songs. Maharaj was singing, they were repeating. Maharaj was saying the verses, they were repeating, and they were like this. Nothing else in the world was there. Just me and my Guru Maharaj. So I saw with my own eyes so much commitment, so much love, so much faith, so much surrender. And it was a wonderful experience. And I could realize, oh my God, imagine with Srila Prabhupada. So, Guru is supposed to teach us, and the Guru Govinda Maharaj gave me a wonderful realization. I felt love between a disciple and a Guru, union, surrender, and more than that, I could feel, I could guess, I could think, whoa. With Srila Prabhupada, for sure it was much, much intense. For sure was much, much more than intense. So I'm very grateful. And of course, as someone said, Sanatan said, 3 hours class. I could not stay till the end. I could not stay till the end. But I could see the love. So I'm very grateful. Guru Govinda Maharaj gave me opportunity to see love between devotees, love between the Guru and the disciples, and it was very, very strong realization, so I'm very grateful.
With all of you and the invitation to come and participate in this most auspicious ceremony of Vyas Puja. It seems like that's something that I have special message from you to purify me so I'm suitable to come to your destination. So I was very fortunate that this divine grace teaching Govinda Maharaj visited my home in 1973, 1993, excuse me, in Denver, Colorado. It was an amazing experience to have an association. I was a newlywed Vyasa, and frankly, there was a Maya. I couldn't appreciate who is this person. I was thinking he's a very eccentric man. Because he picked one person and he gives special mercy. So there was one young man, his name was Dr. Gour. Dr. Gour was a very eccentric guy. His business was caring for dogs. He brushed them and washed them and cleaned their stool, and very eccentric guy. So he was sitting right in front. So we got special mercy from Maharaj. So Maharaj was telling him, Dr. Gour, your head is full of cow stool, huh? Dr. Gour, isn't it, huh? Everyone knows. Who's ever had the blissful experience of the association of Maharaj or heard his lectures. So there's no doubt this young man's head was full of cow stool. And Maharaj very kindly pointed it out to him. My problem was that I was thinking this person is very eccentric man. I couldn't appreciate his glories. Just like the sun. Right now we can't see the sun. But is the sun covered? Or is our vision covered? Our vision is covered. The sun is shining brightly in the sky. You get up in an airplane, get beyond the cloud cover, the sun is shining very brightly in the sky. So the glories of this extraordinary devotee shone very brightly, but my vision was covered. And it wasn't until I started listening to his lectures and read his biography that I could understand my good fortune to have spent time to have him in my home, to serve him, to give him dakshina, to feed him, to offer obeisances to him. Extreme good fortune. But I should have thrown myself at his feet and begged his mercy. But I didn't. So the next time I was in India, it was after he left this world. So I went to the Samadhi Mandir in Govinda, and after I ended up pranam, begged his mercy, and just as I was getting off the ground, the guard came and put Maharaj's garland in my head. It was a very wonderful experience in my life. And in his separation, even in separation, I received this person. So this is an important thing to understand, that we're never separated from personalities like this. Even the soul is eternal. Na jayate meyate va kadachan nayam bhutva bhavitava nabuya ajonyate shashvatam mudam koram naharyati anyamayate. Even any soul, na jayate na meyate kadachan, never born, never dies kadachan, at any time. So what separates us from the association of great souls? Only the covering of clouds. Either in his personal bhava association or in his body association. What is separates us? Only our covered consciousness. So we should, to really grasp our good fortune, we should understand who is Shri Guru. Shri Guru is associate, eternal associate of the Lord. He's not from India or from America, tall, short, skinny, fat, black, white, yellow, brown. He's Lord's associate. For example,
that I met in Spain when I was there the beginning of the 90s. I don't actually remember the date. I know I went to Spain twice. And the first time I was fortunate enough to be in his class, Bhagavatam class in the morning. I just want to sort of give you a bit of the context, what was going on at that point, because Maharaj came into a situation where people were a little unsteady because they'd lost their faith, quite a lot of faith in what is a guru. You know, it's a shame, but we've been through a situation where quite a few of our gurus have decided to, you know, not actually leave ISKCON, but they didn't want to take care of the disciples. It was like too much, so that was fine. Just that we felt like at that point we needed guidance, you know. And I think Maharaj came, he understood the situation, and he came in at that moment into a situation in Spain, a big farm. We had a lot of responsibility, and he was offering himself as our guide. So I was just like totally overwhelmed. I was like, this person is amazing. You know, just as Pranamasi was saying, he was chanting, he was singing these beautiful verses, and his, you know, a few people's disciples, and Sanya's disciple was there with him. And it was just like, it was an absolutely amazing experience. Then I have to say that he started asking us questions, yeah? So I thought, you know, oh, he's asking questions, you have to answer, you know. So I know, really like, you know, naive, stupid, whatever. But I put my hand up to answer the question. And when I answered the question, because the question was, so how are you going to keep from getting into Maya like this? You know, who is going to help you? And I'm just like, oh, I know. You just serve Krishna like this, you know. And I think like, you're thinking what Prabhupada says, that, oh, when you serve Krishna like this, and I was like, you know, he looked at me, and you know, one of those big shouts. He shouted across the whole room. There were loads of people in the room, and he shouted, and he went, no, like this, Guru Krishna Prashani Pai, Bhakti-Rata Vish. And it was like, this was that was for me. Yeah, that was for everybody, but it was for me, yeah? So it was like, wow, I think I'm getting it. You know what I mean? It's like, you cannot do anything without the mercy of the Guru. So he was making it quite clear. That whole class, every time he said something, he said, is that okay, Mataji? Is that okay? And I was like, and everybody that was Prabhupada, everybody was looking at me, and I was going redder and redder. And I was like, why am I doing this, you know? So it was like, it was very difficult moment, because I suppose it was like some years after our Guru had, you know, decided to leave his sanya. I wasn't taking shelter with devotees and my husband, and, you know, the general management, you know. So this great personality had come in a situation we'd all kind of like forgotten, you know. When you're supposed to have a Guru, it's true, you know, you're supposed to take a, you know. So it was like really hammering it home. So I just have to say to you that I actually love this personality. I really loved him. So he would have a little room next to the temple room. For a few days, he only stayed for 2 or 3 days. Can you get me okay? This sound is weird. Is everything here with me? Yes, sir. So I would go and sit there, and I would just like look at him, and I just, he didn't mind, he tolerated me. He was like a father. He sat there and he just like, and he would, any stupid question I had, he would answer it, you know, and I was like, wow, he was just so amazing. I was just like, I was totally awestruck the whole time he was there. And very sad when he left. And then some years later, I looked for him in Bhubaneswar, down, and I couldn't find him. And I went back to Spain, and then some years later, one devotee came and he said to me, oh, so you're going to get initiated then? You know, reinitiated. And I said, well, I'm waiting to see Govinda Maharaj again. You know, I haven't seen him for so long, and I don't know where he is. Because we really have contact with anybody in Spain. It's like, you know, no computers, no telephone. So it's like, and he said, oh, you didn't know? Like, that's a what? And he said, he's left. And I went, what? He's left the world? And that was like a shock for me. I was like, no, I can't believe this. So it's made a very good impression on me, and I'm very grateful for your association, because I feel like that's what he came to do for us. He came to give us shelter when we lost so much shelter. And he's very, very insistent that everything is in Prabhupada's books. Take shelter of Prabhupada's books. You don't need to go anywhere else. You don't need to go out of ISKCON. You know what I mean? He's such a great personality. So I thank you very much.
Explains in the 7th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Tesham Jnani Nitra Chutta Ekabhakti Shishite Priyogi Jnani Ham Shashamama Priya. Of all of us who approach him, Jnani, Tesham Jnani Nitra Bhakti Vishishite. The one who has knowledge and has devotion is the dearest to me. He's special. The spiritual knowledge of Puja Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj is, we cannot find words to describe the wealth of his spiritual knowledge. Jnana Samudra, an ocean of knowledge. And Pujapad would come to the class with an assistant who would be carrying his various shastras in a cloth. And then as he was speaking, you would be enlivened, and he would speak, give me this shastra, give me that shastra. He had so much love for the shastra. He had so much knowledge of the shastra. And when we hear Pujapad speak on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam, we become Chukrudan Diloje, we become enlivened with Ride Dibugyan Ride Prakashito. Dibugyan Ride Prakashito. Spiritual knowledge enlivened in the heart. Sometimes I see the pictures of Pujapad Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj as a young sannyasi. Just seeing that picture, Tomar Darshan Pavitro Vaye Tomar Gun. Just seeing that picture, our heart melts. We can, the commitment, the dedication, the tyag, going to Bhubaneswar, and nothing was there, no assistance on the order of Srila Prabhupada going to Bhubaneswar. Remarkable, he was noticed by Srila Prabhupada as a young renunciate in Vrindavan, and very quickly Prabhupada gave him sannyas, extraordinary leelas. There's also a leela, I don't know if anyone just mentioned today, but I've heard it, that at one time His Holiness came to Mayapur, and in the kirtan he fell unconscious. I don't know if you've heard this story. He fell unconscious in the kirtan and had to be carried away, and he remained in the path, the this exalted consciousness, out of touch with the external world. He remained in that state of Chantikala for an extensive period of time, and then eventually came without eating, sleeping, anything. I'm not sure, I heard it was many days. I heard 3 weeks. But anyway, extraordinary pastimes. We were fortunate. I consider one of the great fortunes of my life is that I was able to take the Choranduli of Puja Srila Gour Govinda Swami Maharaj. And His Holiness's message. I remember the years in the 90s when His Holiness was preaching like a lion all around ISKCON to enliven the preachers. His message was to enliven the preachers and inspire them. And with such auspiciousness as I entered this august assembly today, I heard one Vaishnavi explaining Maharaj's message, which I repeat that his message was that everything is in Srila Prabhupada's books. We're fortunate to have Maharaj's association here in Mayapur.
Master says that Vaishnava Gundan Karile Jivana Pran Sunyachi Sadhu Guru Mukhi, that we should not leave the opportunity of trying to glorify Vaishnava, because Krishna is very pleased. We have heard in Chaitanya Charitamrita that when Mahaprabhu was trying to glorify his devotees, sometimes his mouth was like 5 face, sometimes 100 face. Right? So Krishna is more pleased if we try to glorify his devotees. And we were hearing from our spiritual master this morning that yes, to be able to try to glorify pure Vaishnava, we have to be like them. Right? But still, even though we are not, we try to take advantage of this wonderful auspicious day, because that pleases Krishna most. Krishna says, I am pleased if somebody serves my devotee. Whoever pleases my devotee, I am sold to them. So, just like Krishna says, and so I am going to make an attempt with all my imperfections, because my spiritual master specifically told me also, Sanatan, how will you purify your consciousness? You are chanting, you are singing, you are giving classes, but how you are not able to purify your consciousness? How will you do it? And then he said, try to glorify that. So it's a very good opportunity for me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
And to come here, and I'm very much fortunate to speak something about many of you had opportunity to meet Srila Govinda Maharaj, and many of you are disciples of Srila Govinda Maharaj. But I did not have chance, and but I had chance to serve him when I got some clue about the spiritual life, and that practicing a spiritual life will make me happy. Then I was praying to the Lord in the heart that please guide me. And somehow I never thought that I will end up in Bhubaneswar, which is Srila Govinda Maharaj place. I had planned to go somewhere else to continue my studies, but the plan which I was making did not come out that way. And one of my relatives, he suggested me that you go there in Bhubaneswar. So I did not know about ISKCON. I did not know about Srila Prabhupada when I came to Bhubaneswar. I just had this when I was doing my higher secondary I read one little book and I got convinced. And in that book it was mentioned about the relationship of Guru and disciple, and then how that person who was the author of that book, how he stayed with his Guru for 10 years in his ashram, and how his Guru took personal care of him and helped him in all aspects of life. So by reading that book, I got this desire that if I want
not understanding in Tattva, so we need their mercy to be able to see them, and they are, devotees were saying, it's a pure devotee engaged in 24 hours loving service to Krishna, never separated from Krishna. So it's a Nitya Siddha coming from a spiritual world only to distribute Krishna Prema, and here I am like serving Maya for lifetime after lifetime. I got this wonderful opportunity after 25 years of my age to glorify such a Vaishnava who is coming from that place, and like, so I have really no qualification basically to practically like understand him and to be really able to glorify him. But with all imperfections, if I can try my best, then if I can get some mercy, then I have some hope, then I can be changed, I can be purified. So my first experience with Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj was I was serving the temple, I was serving the deities, and I don't remember exactly, I was bathing them, and then all of a sudden one devotee played one lecture of Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj, and then suddenly he shouted like "Bolo," and I was like struck, like who is this person speaking so loudly? And I never heard anybody speaking like this so boldly and loudly, and like I just really like suddenly it was like a shock. I stopped. What is happening? And then he's speaking like his words were so heavy, like Mata's was saying, like he was so loud, and his words, he was saying Trina, Pisuni Chena, Taroriva, Sahishnuna, Amanina, Manadena, Kintaniya, Sada Hari, and his words were like so heavy. Every day when I went for Mangal Aarti, and when I was chanting his mantra, Sikshastinam, it was like popping out of the prayers, like wow, he has so much impact on me, like such an audio tape, and I was like, wow, who is this person? And I wanted to know more about him, like, and who is this person? Then the devotee explained me, this Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj, he sometimes used to do like this, he used to slap devotees like directly on the face, like this is the Guru, and I was like, I need that kind of person for me, who can slap me, who can purify me, cut my false ego, because I am proud, and I cannot become humble by my own. So I need Sadhu Guru Vaishnava who speaks so boldly and chastise me, so they can purify me, cut my false ego. And then I inquired more about him. I heard that Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj, he was saying one time that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he left all his mercy on Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada, he has left all his mercy right here. And he was pointing to his glorious feet. And he was saying, here in Bhubaneswar. And then he said, and any rascal, he will come here and beg for his mercy, he will get that mercy. But that's the perfect place for me. I am a rascal and I need mercy. So this is how Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj had impact on me. So I had this realization and this faith.
I have had no personal Bapu association with Holiness Govinda Maharaj, but I have heard from him, and I'll just share a few things that impressed me the most. The first time I came in, we should beg for service and get a personal instruction and research to actually resolve these controversies, and how Maharaj was explaining that we need somebody, a personal guide, a physical guru to actually guide us, because service is needed, questioning is needed, pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So all these things are there, and it could be a Diksha Guru or Shiksha Guru, but we do need association, and the best association is relating like that. So then
another thing I wanted to share. Thank you very much. Thank you for tolerating me.
Argue against that, and so I always kept that in mind. He was pre-recording, and so. But I didn't really know. How can I know? What do I know? So I can say yes or no. But and I had heard that how he had left, disappeared from the world in such an extraordinary, auspicious way, and so that also struck me. But due to my sincerity, I didn't act on that. Searched out, try to look into that.
The person meets such a sadhu, he will feel spontaneous attraction from the core of his heart, and that attraction is the proof that he is sadhu. So then this is like I got one, like Krishna is called Samveta Bhakta Vrindaki Nitai Gaur Premanande.
So we have time for one more person to speak and share their realizations.
Of the parampara. And okay, it might be obvious, all devotees, we are coming to ISKCON, we read Srila Prabhupada books, we try to do some devotional service, all that. So it might be obvious, but actually, this is a very crucial point. Prabhupada explains the parampara is a mystery. It's a mystery of the parampara, because Prabhupada says in the Gita, at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, he says, unless one can hear Krishna from within and from without, one cannot understand what is the parampara. And because it's a question of who is empowered by Krishna, who Krishna chooses to act through. The spiritual master is an external manifestation of the Paramatma, Krishna Kripa Murti. So, why Krishna chooses the soul to manifest is because filtering, there is no adulteration in their surrender. Srimad Govinda Swami used to say that unless we have love for Krishna, our surrender is partial, either partial or artificial or conditional. Guru means Krishna manifesting through him, Sakshat Hari Vina.